The leading segments in there from a utilization perspective are in muscle movement disorders, which are upper and lower limb spasticity and cervical dystonia. And, again, I'm taking a little bit step back to go a little bit forward here, Balaji, but, in October of 2020, we announced phase 3 data in cervical dystonia. And then we'll be following that up with an open label safety study for cervical dystonia in the second half of 2021. That will complete the data set that we feel is required based on our conversations with the FDA for a registrational pathway for daxibotulinum and cervical dystonia. And we aim to get an FDA approval in 2023 for cervical dystonia. Cervical dystonia serves as a beachhead strategy for the broader category of muscle movement disorders. We feel commercially be accessed with a relatively small field force, 30 to 60 people at that point in time, and with kind of a known set of competitors, and knowing that botulinum toxins are the gold standard treatment for cervical dystonia. Now, we recently talked about our phase 2 data in upper limb spasticity, which is the same commercial call point as our cervical dystonia. What we're doing right now is compiling that data and getting on the books for the FDA for an end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA. So that's the next step there. From there, we will design, we'll have proposals for our ideas of a phase 3 development. We'll have discussions and consultation with the FDA on sort of what that looks like going forward. I'd guide that, starting those programs does take some time. First step is to get that meeting, end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA, get a good alignment with that, get a good alignment with sort of the investigators, and then move forward with a full phase 3 program for upper limb spasticity. So more to come there. I would sort of mark the timeline of cervical dystonia and think about we'll be completing our phase 3 program right now in 2021 and thinking about getting an indication in 2023. The benefit is we're providing a longer lasting neuromodulator. The detractor is the clinical trials subsequently take a bit longer. So when we start to think about that, it could be a little bit longer than the 2023, the 2 years that you talked about to wrap up a phase 3 program and sort of get that data out there as we proceed.
Great. So on the therapeutic side, moving from muscle movement disorders into migraine, any updated thoughts over there to share it over?
Yeah, migraine, we've always said it's sort of, it's when we get to it, and it's not an if we get to it. And so what we're trying to be very cognizant of is capital allocation across our portfolio. It's not lost on us that we're launching a product in aesthetics in a competitive environment, and that will be judged in the next 6 to 18 months on the success of that launch. And so honestly, priority 1 is delivering excellent execution in our commercial execution for medical aesthetics. Priority 2 is to start to bring in muscle movement disorders and expand the beachhead that we have there. Priority 3 down the road is to move into that broader and still fast growing despite of the CGRP's migraine indication, and expand over the life cycle of daxibotulinum where we are. The nice thing about having a neuromodulator is you can titrate innovation in, because patent life works a little bit differently there. And there's, Botox has been on the market for multiple decades and continued growth. So that will be the next leg of the stool for the life cycle management of daxibotulinum.
Great. Toby, I think that would be out of time, and probably that's a good point to leave this conversation at. So thank you again for your time, and wish you a productive conference, and have a good day.
It's been a pleasure, Balaji, and I just appreciate the dialogue, the depth of knowledge in our business, and the support from you and the entire Barclays platform. So thank you so much.